Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Quick, and I am now an English teacher in Japan. I know that I said in my last video that I would torture myself as well as the Japanese, but my very first time teaching was an absolute obliterating mess with high stakes. I would say that I tortured myself about 70%, and then probably about 30% everyone else that was in that room. So, how did it happen? Wasn't I prepared? Well, I thought I was, so let's go over what happened. Hello, this is the future me. I've already edited the video and it's 19 minutes long, but then I had to apparently shorten it because my account's not verified. Well, then why don't you verify it? Well, I tried, then I tried too many times. Now it doesn't want me to verify, so then I had to go this awkward thing where I had to re-edit the video, separate it into two parts. So now it's in two parts. So this part one is only including everything terrible that happened leading all the way up to but not including the actual lesson. And the part two will be the entire actual part of the lesson of my first class and then the aftermath of what the boss told me. So if you don't care about the uh, absolute mess of my day before I got to the school or my adventure trying to get there, that's what this video is about. So if you care specifically about the class, you can just skip on to the second part. I won't be offended. So just, but now I know that all my videos have to be within 15 minutes because I don't know if I'll ever be able to get it verified, which these are supposed to be short videos anyways, so whatever. If you see part one, part twos, you know why now. This kind of comes in like five small parts, so this video is probably going to be pretty much longer than all the other ones. I also changed the mic, so it's in a hopefully better position, and well, that's okay. The audio should be better, so. I'll start at my interview with a Boston coworker. They're both Chinese, so I did a lot of smiling while they were discussing my fate. It was decided that the coworker would work on grammar and I would work on pronunciation. I think this is good and certainly a challenge because the Japanese vocal toolkit is smaller than English. This just means that if you're an English speaker, you should know all the Japanese sounds, but if you're a Japanese speaker, you need to discover the sounds that the English speakers are using. The boss told me that there will be about 6 students, ages 8 to 12, for 30-minute class. They don't really know any English, so it's probably a good idea to go over the alphabet or maybe also read them a story. She also said that the parents would like to be there for my class to judge if the class is right for their child, and I totally understand this point, but it just raises the stakes and pressure on me so much more to just make a like the best class for these kids. So I said, okay. And I asked if there was any kind of teacher's manual or something to go off of, and she said no. And that I'd have to make the class myself. And well, that they after all that, they gave me the time and the address for my first class, and that's practically a good summary for the interview. So let's get into what I made for the class. I thought that I would make an intro. I talk about the importance of English, and then we would have the students tell me their names, and then I'd ask them about an animal they liked, and then discuss the sounds, go through going through the students until 30 minutes pass, which is totally doable, no problem. So the day arrives that my class would be, and I practice all the things I would say, how the class would go. I prepare a to-go meal, and then take the Japanese bus to go to the school. The bus ride would give me an extra 30 minutes to review my notes on my phone and better prepare myself. Now, I've ridden the Japanese bus many times, and although I forgot to grab the ticket once, I had a different issue. In all my time riding the bus, I noticed that some people would hit the button that says stop, and I thought that it meant that the person would get off at the next nearest stop, not necessarily the next route stop, and that the bus will always stop at each route stop to pick up or drop someone off. While on the route, I noticed that the bus had skipped one of the route stops, and I wasn't sure why. So when it came to my stop, he skipped it too, and I was kind of shocked. And this has never happened to me before, so I clicked the stop button, and it was at this moment that I realized that there is no nearest stop. It was all in my head. There's only next route stops. Uh, and if you want to stop the bus, you would just hit the stop button, um, and That's just how the bus works. So either you're laughing at me or think I'm dumb, and that's okay. And if you have no idea what I just explained, then you probably shouldn't go on a Japanese bus. It's probably much safer and cheaper for you to walk. But now, I'm at the next bus stop. So I have to walk an extra 5 to 10 minutes to get to the school. In case you've never been here, uh, there's an example of the Japanese. So Japan has a lot of earthquakes, so they, to get some more ground, they put their buildings together. So it's called the Zakyo Tatemono or the Zakyo Biru. And so the tatemono biru, they both mean building. So it depends on if you want to use kanji or katakana. So the full translation just means is that mix up buildings. And like I said, they're just kind of there to help the stability of the earthquakes, but they're very narrow. And sometimes if a sign for a building is larger than the actual building itself, sometimes they'll put it on the neighboring door, which is very, very rare to happen, but it would also cause confusion, but obviously not for me. I see the school sign, and then I walk in, and it's the small market selling fruits and vegetables, and I realize this isn't a school. So now I'm unsure if the school is upstairs and they just use the market as an entrance, or if it's just to a next door building. Luckily, there's an employee that's there, and she asked me, "Is there something you're looking to buy?" And what I heard is there something you're looking for? So I said, huh, students, gakusei, students. And the lady stopped what she was doing to just stare at me. Because I just, as a foreign man in his 20s, just walked into a market looking to buy students. And because I was, I saw her confusion, because, what am I looking for? I thought maybe I just wasn't specific enough. So I just said, Chugakusei, which means middle schoolers. So now in this lady's mind, she's thinking that, I just I walked in the store looking to buy students, but not just any students, specifically middle schoolers. And then we just stared at each other for even longer, and something I'm pretty sure it was the tone of my voice that like she could tell like I was kind of like serious, and it wouldn't be wrong to say that I was looking for children, but she didn't know that I was the teacher, so I was looking for children to teach. But luckily, there was another employee that was there that interpreted what I was trying to say here. Because apparently, that lady didn't even know there was a school nearby. The other person said the school is next door. So, whew, crisis averted. So, I go next door and I meet the coworker. I didn't tell her of any of my adventures. I was glad that I just kind of made it, and I was hoping that nothing else gets worse. And as it turns out, the school building isn't actually a school, it's an apartment that has been renovated to seem like a school. So, all right, so that's the end of this part one. If you want to see the part two, you'll have to see the next part two video because YouTube wants to be a big pain in my butt. I just can't emphasize how much of a pain this is to have to re-edit a video that you finished and separate it into two parts because YouTube wants to be a big dumb. Sorry about that. I actually ranted for so long I had to, edit that part out. But, you know, thank you guys so much for watching. And without further ado,